Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Mansplaining the Masters. I'm Mark. I'll be doing the mansplaining for today's Thanksgiving edition. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're going to look at Norman Rockwell's famous Freedom from Want painting. I want to point out a great trick Norman Rockwell is using here. He's separating the figures, the turkey, and some of the fruit on the table from the table itself and also from the background, from the wall and the window. But he's exaggerating that a little bit. What he's playing with is something called the figure-ground relationship, meaning, you can actually look this up, it's a very well-established concept, that there's a separation between the things you look at and the things that you don't. And you can really play games. Right here, this is in this image, this kind of an inversion of the figure ground perception idea. But what he's doing, and this is a really great tool when you have a complicated scene, especially like this, notice that he is compressing the values in the table, but he's allowing a lot of contrast in the figures. So the figures don't compete at all with the table, even though there's a lot of stuff happening on the table. If we zoom in a little bit and look at some of the colors, notice he's using, for his lightest colors, it's kind of close to white. He gets up close to white, but it's very uniform. There's a reason that's a white tablecloth. And for the shadows, nothing other than on the salt and pepper shaker, and maybe on the knife or whatever that is on the upper left, nothing really gets below this light medium value. The effect of that is that all of the tabletop stuff blends together. He's also getting that effect with a lot of repetition. The plates, the glasses, the way that they are very similar. And so he creates a space on the table that is not particularly attention grabbing, even though there's a lot of stuff happening there. And so to compare that with the figures, which, by the way, he is also grouped together with the fact that they're all in close proximity to each other. They all have very similar skin tones, similar hair tones, other than the grandma over there on the right, that they all group together along with the turkey and along with the fruit, and they create a square. If you follow along the line of the faces on the upper left, through the turkey, through the faces on the right, down the right side, that's why the fruit is there at the bottom, is to lead us back into that little square. And so on the interior of that, and by the way, the reason the wall is blue and the reason the woman's shirt is blue is it joins all of that together as a ground, or sometimes we would call that a background. But in this case, it's kind of hard to call something near us a background. So there's a distinct separation between the turkey, people, and fruit group and the everything else group. And the turkey, people, and fruit group would be considered the figure, and everything else would be considered the ground. So the next time you're struggling with a complicated image, see if you can make that separation. Figure out some parts of the painting that will all be the figure, the attention-grabbing stuff, and then the rest of it, try to unify it as much as possible in value, in color, and in repeated shapes and subject matter, and then it will all fuse together into the ground group. So that's the figure-ground relationship. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.